Before we get started in this video, there's a few things to talk about in regards to my history with the P90. My infatuation with this design, this platform, this aesthetic, if you will, really started when I was a kid when I played GoldenEye on Nintendo 64. There was a gun in that game known as the RCP-90, and if I remember correctly, you could actually dual wield them and they were just wicked. What we have here is something very close to the RCP-90 or the P90 or just something that just really just speaks to me. But it doesn't stop there. Obviously, I'm a big sci-fi guy, so you know I love stuff like Stargate. Stargate is an amazing show. I have just many fond memories of watching Stargate. This is probably the most iconic gun design in that show, you know, the P90. It had a very futuristic look to it. The creators of the show like just appreciated it and they overused it a lot. It really reinforced just how amazing this design is to me. And then more recently, a couple years ago when I first got into the Nerf hobby, the first thing I did was a charger mod. And the charger was like the first time I really was like, oh wow, there's something that looks kind of like a P90 and it's Nerf. So that was actually my first video on YouTube. So yeah, there's a lot of history here with me and this type of design. I'm actually in the process of modding a charger to accept a magazine up the top and kind of rework some of this foregrip area. So yeah, you can see I'm a big fan of this type of design. And so when I saw Valour working on this thing, and obviously, you know, I had the Bulwark. Where is that? Where is that weird looking blaster? There it is, the Bulwark. When this thing first came out, I was super excited because it's like, hey, it's something that looks kind of like a P90, but oh man, don't get me started on this thing. Let's just say this blaster I hold before you, I have put countless hours of tinkering and messing around with to get it to function okay. It's still not super reliable. I hate the blocky designs of it. It's super sharp. It has just a really gross look. Even as I stand here and talk about the Bulwark, I feel discomfort in my hand right here as the crisp edge is just jamming into my thumb. This design needed refinement. And the reason why I'm irritated is because the creator of the N90 understood that and was reworking it and doing a similar design. Now, the creator of this thing, I think his name is Jackrabbit Nerfer, I heard the guy was like completely shutting down this project because it utilized this water wheel pusher system. If you take both of these pushers and put them side by side, this one's actually different. It's a little bit different. It's not the same exact thing in here. They're very similar. But the reason why I just want to say this in this video is because I freaking love this thing. This needs to exist. These files, you can't get them right now. The designer of this decided to just cease production because this guy was like all over them and telling them to stop and cease and desist, all this stuff. So this one stopped. And so you can't get this. We can't build this. This is not refined. This is from hours and hours of Valour working on this thing to make it function. I know I'm getting off topic. I am a bit irritated because I absolutely love the P90 design. I wish this thing was very available. I wish I could go buy the files and print them myself. Right now, that's not really an option. I can go get a Bulwark, but at this point, I am not a fan of the Bulwark. So in today's video, we're gonna take a look at this N90. This thing is so cool. I'm not gonna say how much I paid for it because it was way too much. I just knew I had to have this. Right now, it's like a one-of-a-kind item. And that just shows how passionate I am about this thing because I paid a lot of money for it, but I still want the files to be available for everyone. What will happen to this right here if that happens? I'll look like a fool for paying so much money for this and then everyone can get these and they'll be all over the place. But I'm fine with that because I absolutely love this design. So in today's video, we're gonna take this, get some chronograph readings, spray down some targets, talk about the operation and loading and all that stuff, reliability and exactly what this thing is. And yeah, as you can see, spoiler alert, I love it. So let's jump right into the video. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do here is we gotta get some chronograph readings because I am actually very curious. I have not chronographed this thing yet. Now, before I get some chronograph numbers off this thing, it's worth mentioning that the crush in here for the flywheel of the world geometry is not what it should be. And Valour says he is actually working the new cage just to print one out or send me the files or whatnot so I can basically drop in that higher crush. So, because of that, I can't shoot the normal Adventure Force Pro darts, you know, little short black ones. We're actually shooting cut down waffle darts, which actually a little bit fatter, so they kind of work with that lack of crush. So let's see what this thing looks like. Also, it's gonna be very difficult to pop off one shot, but we'll try. All right, so 114.5. 98.3. The problem is that's the second dart. Let's see if I get one. 118.6. Yeah, so the first dart obviously coming in a little bit hotter. The second dart that passes through drops down a little bit. So, come on. 110. Can I scroll up? Let's see what man, that trigger pull. It's like you get a quick trigger pull on it, you're firing 2 to 3 darts. It's just like, okay, I got a few in there. You can see it's like, let me try and get just a couple darts. Oh, it's actually really responsive. Oh, it's so nice. I love this thing. So good. I will say the one thing the Bulwark has that this doesn't have, which I'd like to see incorporated in this, is the ability to hit that mag on there and eject the top magazine. That's the only thing that mine does well. Other than that, everything else is kind of real pain in my ass. Oh, let me talk about this real quick. Look at this thing. If you have any jams or anything, this thing just slides up. Valour's got this thing all magnetic. You can see on there, it's like, it's got magnets and it comes down, basically slaps into place and it's nice and secure. All these panels right here, look at these things. These are magnetic, so you can just get these quick access. The battery tray, magnetic. The whole thing has just been sanded down and really fine sanding and really glossy finish. I just love this thing. This has gotta be my most prized possession at this point. I don't know, the glass construct's up there too, the one Kowski sent me, but whew, this one that's pretty epic. Yeah, loading's is like butter. All right, so chronograph numbers, we're looking around, you know, 100, we'll say 120, 110 to 120, which is perfectly fine for close quarter combat, which that's what this thing's gonna be used for. You know, as I'm kind of running and gunning and whatnot, like this is perfect. So satisfying. You can see the feeding just kind of slides in there and it just wants to seat itself. So really nice. So in the end, I guess my final thoughts are, you know, we are living in a strange time. There are so many developers doing stuff for Nerf. It's hard because like designers feel that other designers step on their toes and you got to be mindful of, you know, people's intellectual property and whatnot. The problem with the whole thing is like, where do you draw the line? So in the real development world, like say this water wheel pusher system, right? So the way it would work in the real world is you develop this thing. First up, you'd see if there's a patent. Is there a patent that exists for this, right? If you don't see a patent, you would rush out, get your patent submitted to the patent office. They would, you know, basically approve it, and now you have the rights to that thing for X amount of time. I'm not a patent lawyer or anything, but I'm pretty sure it's like 10 to 14 years or something. There's just a set amount of time in which that's your thing. Now, to be honest, like I'm not too sure how something like that would be patented, because that's like a basic mechanism that you would see if you're a mechanical engineer. I am sure you have seen the concept of this pusher type mechanism before. Regardless, the way we're dealing with this in the community is it's kind of like a courtesy. So if one engineer designs something or works on a project with another engineer and they kind of have something designed, they might say like, hey, I don't want you using my files, but that system right there, you can see like someone could just design up another one, make it a little bit different, make it bigger, smaller, whatever, and it will be different enough to where you're not really infringing on that person's design. But all this stuff is really debated in court. So once you have the patents and you have your intellectual property like lawyer team that like fights all that stuff, we don't have any of that in the Nerf modding hobby community. So all we have is just integrity, you know? So what it comes down to is like, are we basically holding the best wishes of the designer? So this story just really kills me, because like, to me, what happened was innovation was stifled. And this is an amazing project. Many people are gonna say, oh, it's a Bulwark reskin or reshell. It's not. This is not a Bulwark. There is so much more going on here, so much more different things as far as ergonomics, aesthetics, overall design, functionality, mechanism. It is different. It is not a Bulwark. In fact, if the Bulwark was patented and went through that whole process, and then this showed up, this could be a separate patent. Like they're different enough. Let me know if you think I'm completely wrong in the comment section. I'm fine with that. I personally, all I can say is like, I'm just angry that I can't buy these. I can't get the files. The project's dead, and Jackrabbit Nerfer is like gone. Like I don't know what he's doing now. He's not refining this thing at all. If this thing existed without this, I'd be okay with this thing. But because this exists, this thing is not, ugh. So I don't know, because in a nutshell, we got designers that create full-on things that get completely ripped off by like Chinese companies that don't respect IP at all. That's the way that designer treated this guy, like acted like it was a straight up rip-off, when I have seen files get taken like the gecko. The gecko is completely injection molded. The lynx is completely stolen and injection molded. You know, there's all this stuff that is going on right now. That's the stuff we should be combating. You know, that's the stuff that we shouldn't support. Eating ourselves, you know, attacking each other within the community for design work. Come on, people, we've really got to work together, because in the end, like I said, you're just stifling development and creativity. I have no problem with you safeguarding your IP. You know, even if the files are not available for, you know, for sale, that's fine. As long as you have someone like, you know, like Added Darts or Silver Fox Industries, or someone that can keep up with the demand of your blaster, I'm fine with it. Go ahead, you know. But if you can't produce it, you can't have China have it, or Hobby have it, or anyone have it. Oh man, that's just horrible in my opinion. Like, I know it's yours, you know, I know people have designed this stuff and you have full rights to your IP, I get that. But man, it sure hurts. It just hurts when there's stuff like this that exists somewhere and we don't have access to it. And people like me, who, not everyone's like DrFlux, not everyone can go out and spend a stupid amount of money for something like this. I just hope these videos that I do with this thing will do well enough to where this will be justified. If I walk away from this hobby today, I'll be a happy person, because I came here to get what I was looking for. A short dart shooting bullpup P90 Nerf blaster that is just wicked. I'm just so happy. This is what I've been looking for. You know, everyone's talking about pew-pews and, you know, FDLs or Jupiters or whatever. Like, everyone's got their thing. I never even wasn't even interested in getting an FDL. I mean, I don't even have a pew-pew coming, or, you know, any of these really amazing blasters. They just didn't interest me as much as something like this. So this is where it's at. Well, I'm DrFlux. I want to thank you for watching today's video. Let me know in the comments section, are you as stoked for this thing as I am? Would you like to get one of these? Do you think the designer should reopen this project? Maybe another designer come in and do something? I don't know. At this point, it's like, I really wish I could do design work. I might even go on to, was it Fiverr, and just pay an engineer to just design this thing for me. Well, I want to thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, happy foam flinging.